partners are Danny and Yu Yao. Today we are here to help Porsche reorganize its personnel structure, optimize its sales process, perfect its management, and finally live up to the customer-centric promise. As we know, Porsche is a strong brand, with China being its largest market. Its luxury models are world famous. Taycan, an all-electric sports car, is a flagship of Porsche's Mission E, which focuses on the global climate issue and has gained great success. On the right of this slide, we have three market rankings for 2021 in China. Since 2005, the Porsche brand has consistently claimed the top spots in the benchmark study, Appeal, which measures buyers' emotional attachment and level of excitement with their new vehicles. Simultaneously, Porsche ranked the 10th in the China Dealer Satisfaction Index and got the second runner-up in the China Sales Satisfaction Index. We can conclude that even if we have seen many brilliant performances of Porsche, it still has room to grow when trying to satisfy customers and dealers. So, how can we make Porsche's customers more satisfied? Let us see a series of processes before customers pick up the new car. I am Christopher, 46 years old, a great entrepreneur. Time is money, and I don't like to wait. So once I encounter the model I like, I will immediately buy it if the test drive is okay. While for Cindy, 34 years old, her family runs car businesses, so she's very knowledgeable about the brand, performance, and appearance of the cars. As a shrewd person, she enjoys taking part in all the steps of customizing her own car. While her young brother, Alex, 27 years old, a charming lad, prefers to have sales manager to do most of the customization. After communication, adjustment, production, and shipping, usually 3 to 6 months later, the customer can pick up their new Porsche. Once the order is finished, Porsche has after-sales team to follow up with the customers. However, whether the customer is satisfied or not, that is the question. Actually, in a series of order processes, there are many unexpected situations and problems that may occur. Let us take a frustrating customer, Paul Chen, and his experience as an example. In the offline store, when Paul picked and got to know the models, the sales consultant David is not professional enough to provide solid advice and give detailed introduction. During the process of communication and adjustment, Paul was very entangled, and David's response was not timely, with very troublesome procedure. While waiting for his car, the customer lacked of information and was unaware of the progress. When bad results happened, Porsche's after-sale team didn't care enough about customers and they blamed each other. Our disappointing Paul finally got a relatively fair compensation after negotiating back and forth. It was a very unpleasant experience, isn't it? And we should know that many such incidents will gradually wear down customer satisfaction with Porsche. To deal with such incidents, we have three strategies to reduce risks before customers pick up their cars and to solve the problems after the accident happened. Now, let us welcome my partner Yu Yao to elaborate the strategy 1.
Okay, thank you, Qinglan. In the first strategy, we want to avoid the risks before it should happen. Firstly, we implement the differentiated customization in the ordering stage. Why does Porsche need it? For one thing, we can see that for customers, they have to select from too many choices, from colors, the charger, to some certain cables. Those choices are not so friendly to some of its target users who are actually not enthusiasts, for the lack in professional knowledge and specific requirements of those fragmentary and tiny components. they have little knowledge of the effect and experience that certain components will bring about. So the contradiction between the exact experience and the expected one may cause further dissatisfaction and tiring communication. For another, more choices mean higher risks for producers to effectively grab the information. As the case shows, when faced with amendments, the possibility of making mistakes increases because it cannot be guaranteed whether the producers get the order modified. Furthermore, once the car starts to be produced, it cannot be modified, while the deadline and exact beginning time are also uncertain. Please turn the page, please. The next is how to solve the problem. We think differentiation is a proper way to optimize efficiency and reduce possible costs. For the masses without much professional knowledge about cars, there are two choices. They can directly choose one certain kind with a fixed configuration, like the refined ones, the household one, or the traveling one, etc. Or they can choose to customize the colors, decorations, and seats. Those indexes concern more comfortable experience and personalized preferences. While in terms of some components or assembly which require professional knowledge, we will package separate choices into several portfolios. For the enthusiasts, the choices remain unchanged, and each category is available for customization, so it can satisfy their fervent needs of choosing as they want. And here are the procedures. The choices are clearly sorted into two categories. In the professional category, like portfolio for winter with heating, or the portfolio for entertainment with 3D surrounding acoustics. Also, there is a convenient transformation from portfolios into customization on the website. It's notable that if you tend to select online, in the end of every index, there is a button for you to check more instruction and information. If offline, you can go straight to the sales representative. So when it comes to sales representatives, namely the SRs, we come up with the second implementation of Strategy 1 to improve their service quality. The case shows that the attitude of the SR changed from the earnest and serious to random and seems busy soon after Paul filled in the service satisfaction form. What's more, the SR didn't give enough information of the customized choice of configuration in the beginning, so that the customer has to change again and again. So to solve it, we tend to firstly implement systematic training of the whole marketing and transaction flow, as well as the emergency response in forms of lectures and role-playing. Finally, after the training, there will be a test to qualify the eligible SR. Then a monitoring mechanism is necessary. We set the technical after-sales team to measure the performances of SRs as an additional index of the whole assessing standard beyond the satisfaction form. After that, a rank of all SRs forms automatically based on the scores, and we will give rewards and punishments according to the rank. If one gets punishments, for example, ranks in the large 20% or 30%, they will have to receive the training and the simulation all over again. Please turn the page, please. This method is expected to enhance the SR's attitudes, professional IT skills, and knowledge of cars, and provide full information from the SRs. With the friendly, smart, and reliable SRs, the service of sales can correspond to the principle of customer-oriented, thus enhancing the customer's credit and brand power. Okay, let's welcome our colleague Jiayi.
Okay, thanks, Yuyao. Well, the third implementation is to raise visibility of production to avoid risks. From the setting of order, the amendment of order to the production, we don't even know in what stage the problem is happening. Was the amendment form truly valid? Did the producer truly get the modification requirement? the reason for the error remained unknown. The other problem is the exact time period of production and the exact time of beginning is also unknown. So we can see that the sales representative as well as the customers are separate from the production process. So we want the whole production chain of one certain product to be more visible. It's necessary to build a digital system to record the order, amendment, confirmation, and the following production. It has to be noticed that the information of a certain car is only exposed to its future owner. It's one-to-one SR and after-sales team which are held responsible. It can significantly prevent risks of errors in the production stage by guaranteeing the producer get full requirements and start as ordered. Also, a visible chain can apportion blame, whether it's credit to customer, SR, or products. Next page, please. From another perspective, if any mistakes have already taken place, then we must do something to cope with it so that the customers will receive better after-sale experiences. That's how we come up with our second strategy, problem response. In the first place, we suggest that Porsche should establish a troubleshooting team, which is specifically set for solving physical problems as the name tells. From the previous analysis, we know the fact that Porsche's existing service model works as what is shown in the upper part of this slide. After the car is successfully delivered to the customer, there will be two different situations, satisfied or not. If the customer has no complaint about the car, then there will be after-sales services just as normal. But if the customer is dissatisfied, then the sales representative will take responsibility for a range of issues, including checking the order, confirming with the producer, and keeping in touch with the buyer until everything is settled down. However, in our opinion, separating the sales part and the after-sales service part is very necessary to have a clearer insight into personal responsibility and enhance the role of supervision for the dealer. Therefore, we tend to build a troubleshooting team as the substitution of original SR. Next page, please. Having set up a more reasonable service system, we then focus on the compensation mechanism, which needs improvement to be more effective and more humanized. As the specific methods of compensation depend on different circumstances, we take two basic cases into consideration. One refers to the situation that the car doesn't live up to the customer's expectations, just as what happened to David in the case. This kind of dissatisfaction can be distinguished directly without a test drive, like the wrong appearance of the car or the incorrect configuration. The other situation refers to bad experiences after the buyer has already driven the car. For example, there may be potential security issues, insufficient performance, and uncomfortable feelings. When the team has figured out the situation, it can start working out a reasonable scheme. Firstly, it needs to make inquiry to confirm the fact through phone call, questionnaire, online survey, etc. Then measure the criteria for the compensation, such as the level of the error, the amount of compensation payment, and the time needed. Finally, it can offer corresponding services. And to make the whole process more satisfactory, there are some requirements and tips to stick to. The most important principle is that the service should be offered in a customer-centric way throughout the whole process. And it can judge from customers' different personalities and point out their specific demands. The team should also keep in touch with the customer to share information and give concerns by setting individual service groups. It must take responsibility actively and make up for the loss with their best efforts. Then let's welcome my colleague Mei for the next part.
Thank you very much, Jia. And more specifically, the troubleshooting team should be devoted to improving service quality by making themselves qualified enough. From the scale perspective, It should both maintain existing staffs and recruit new members, for whom both need special training, incentive measures, and effective assessments. From personal characteristics, the team members are required to have professional skills, positive attitudes, and high efficiency. For skills, there is a need for outstanding expertise, equipment, and rich experience. For attitudes, those passionate, enthusiastic, and sincere staffs are easier to form good relationships with customers. For efficiency, the person who acts timely, quickly, and accurately to show respect and concern for the issue and the customer. And then for the final part, we will do some evaluations about our two strategies. Next page, please. Okay, firstly, we make a specific prediction of the timeline of our two strategies to be put into practice and effect. For the first part in the strategy 1, Porsche should begin its market research at present and after understanding the common driving needs of its customers, design a portfolio of accessories that are easy to produce and assemble. Subsequently, they can launch the new customized products into the market. For the second part of it, Porsche should first establish a reasonable reward and punishment system, followed by training for SR, whose future work will be supervised by the after-sales team. For the third part of it, Porsche can design the functionality of the digital system based on the results of market research and with the agreement of the management. Porsche will then develop the system and use it to help improve customer satisfaction once it has already been developed. For strategy 2, which is aimed to build a professional troubleshooting team, it should start from the restructure of the dealer, and by recruitment or selection, Porsche can get someone suitable for these positions. After training, Porsche can have a specific team for solving problems. Next page, please. Secondly, we estimate that Porsche can get more revenue from higher customer satisfaction. Sales will increase from 301,915 units in 2021 to 430,000 units in 2026 due to higher customer satisfaction. The CAGR of sales is 7.3%. What's more, its cost structure will also change after applying the two strategies mentioned above. We expect that its annual cost to increase by 15.4 billion euro in 5 years, of which 40% is R&D cost, 15% is research cost, 15% is training cost, and 30% is recruiting new staff. At the same time, the increase in customer satisfaction will lead to a reduction in compensation and end-of-life loss. We expect this to reduce costs by 1.5 billion euro, and with scrap cost accounting for 70% and compensation cost accounting for 30%. We forecast that Porsche's annual revenue will grow by 14 billion euro due to increased sales. Combining revenue and cost, we estimate that Porsche's profits will grow from 5.3 billion euro to 14.4 billion euro. The CAGR of profit is 22.12%. Next page, please. First, we map the risks and propose mitigations. Porsche may face risks that consumer complaints lead to a damage of brand impression. It can be mitigated by specific troubleshooting team to reduce consumer complaints and can be solved by timely crisis public relations. Secondly, Porsche may face risk of insufficient R&D capability, which can be mitigated by building a talent pool and attract outstanding students and staff with activities. Thirdly, unsatisfied training effect can be also a risk. It can be mitigated by searching for more quality courses and establishing a appraisal and award system. Next page, please. That's all for our presentation about how to raise Porsche's customer satisfaction and live up to the customer-centric promise. Thanks for your listening.
Thank you, Nanjing, your team, for your presentation. It is now time for the Q&A session. So judges, you can start your first question. The 15-minute countdown start now. Thank you.
Good. Let me just start with a very specific question, right? But thank you for your time today. And this question goes to Jai. Can I? I think I'm getting the name right, Jai. Yeah. So look,
Yes.
the business case is very specific. Yeah. It's about one issue in Hong Kong. So can you, in 1 minute, explain why you are asking to invest to increase 15 billion euros cost to address one single issue in Hong Kong? You have 1 minute.
Hello, maybe I can help Jai to answer this question. Can I?
If you'd like to get your help, would you like to get her help, Jai?
Yes, I like.
Okay, no problem.
Because when we come to this case, we think it's not a simple issue that Paul is unsatisfied with David's service, but it's something about the customer satisfaction. We found that because of this, because the happening of this issue, we found that the service of SR or the service of the from the dealers during the whole process, that is a very it's not an easy problem to solve to raise customer satisfaction and to ensure that our customer satisfaction ranks first in China among all the brands. So that's our goal to make Porsche get the most customer satisfaction in whether China or whether in other regions. So that's why it needs such a great cost in our strategies.
Okay, good, thank you.
But can I just understand, one of the suggestions was to simplify the range of options that the clients have, right, when they look to buy the car. But is that not going to significantly reduce revenue? Because the basic model costs 1.2 million. The top end model costs 3.1 million. So that means the sales team are actually incentivized not to go for the basic model, but to go for the, inverted commas, the enthusiasts. So where is the revenue reduction if there's an increase in sales to the masses and not as many sales to the enthusiasts?
Hello, may I take this question?
Well, actually, I prefer if someone else on the team answered.
Okay, maybe I think Yuyao can answer this question.
Okay, let me answer this question. Because can you turn the page into the strategy 1, implementation 1, please? Implementation 1, the second page, please. Yes, and I want to see that we want to extend the user range into the masses, because you know that the problem existed that some of the masses think it's too complex to choose from too many choices, and the other problem is to the producers, because the complex choices may bring some risks of some errors to the producers, and it's not avoidable. So we want to simplify some of its choices, like the choices regarding the comfort and preferences, and keep the professional needs and the choose as they want needs to for the enthusiasts. So we think that the masses and the enthusiasts are of equal significance. So I think you can't separate the two kind of users, I think. Thank you.
Hello, I'd like to make some additional points. As we know, first, we come up with our first strategy in the basis of Posture's existing background. We have searched on its official website, and we find that there have been so many choices for the customers to choose what they want, no matter it is the appearance of the car or some specific functions of the car. And we think there so much. And first, we know Posture is known for offer individualized choices for customers, and that is a big competence of its services. But we have also checked some other competitors like Tesla, and we find that there are some more simplified choices for customers. So we think we can also ask this to Posture to provide a multiple choice for other customers that are not so crazy about the cars. And in this way, the original customers that want to use these individual choices, they will also maintain their original choice. But for other groups that we have segmented, like in the strategy 1, they will have better other choices that better suits their needs. And in this way, we think might be adds revenues for Posture. Thank you.
Thank you. Can I just ask, can you go to the slide on risks? So I think you've estimated that you'll increase revenue by 40%, but yet the risk isn't one, or revenue not matching the amount of investment isn't one of the risks. Does that sound a bit strange?
Okay. Thank you for the question. I think that's something we ignore that when we are doing drawing this slide. I think is a very impressive question. And why we listed the 3 risks above, but choose the 3 risks because we think it will lead to more severity to the whole company. Yes, thank you very much.
So can I just bring this possibility for you? If you had more time, what would you do to reinforce in front of us what you'd like to do? Not you, Huang, another person.
May I ask, are you asking about if we have more time, that is to say more than 5 years, how can we?
No, okay, I'll be more specific. You came in front of the board, you are presenting your strategy as a team, you are asking the board to approve something that will cost billions and billions more. You are saying that you compared with Tesla. Tesla does not compare with Porsche. It's a very different product. Yeah. And Porsche is a very successful one in the China market. Yeah. And now I wanted to give you the possibility to rethink and give you 1 more week to revalidate what you're offering us. What will you do in 1 week?
Actually, I think if we have 1 week to look through how the the whole car brands in China or in the Asia Pacific region, we think we will go through both the luxury cars like Porsche, like BMW, like Benz, and Besides this, not just about Tesla, also some companies in China like now will also take into consideration that we will benchmark their competition strategy so that we think we can come out a better competitor analysis in this case.
Okay. We're just following on from that. Are there any other options that you considered when you looked at your strategy where you said you discounted them or you decided, no, that wasn't what you wanted? What was the other ideas that you thought about?
Sorry that I didn't catch your question. Can you just pardon?
No problem. So you've come up with 2 strategies that you've presented today. Were there other strategies that you considered, but you decided as a team that no, you didn't want to produce or present them today? Can anyone on the team answer that except for Mei Ling?
Okay, I think I will take this question. So I think you're asking about, except for the 2 strategies, can we, our team get some other ideas? I think that when we are thinking about the 2 strategies, we are thinking about the whole process from the customer comes into the offline storm to the order is finished. And maybe we think that we can make some improvements in the process of production, except for maybe the education of the sales represent or the improvement of our system to let the customers know the process of the production and the shipping. So I think we can also focus on how can we manage our goods in stock, and how can we reduce the cost of putting our cars in the storehouse. So that is my answer.
Okay, I want to make some supplement because we think the case focus more on the Taycan, which is electronic car, and we think that the target users are not so specific or so clear in the case. So we will research more information about the target users of Taycan. Exactly in China or in other markets, because China we think is the most the biggest market of Porsche. But we didn't have enough time, so it was a pity. But if we have more time, we will dig into the market share and the market share of the whole market of the electronic cars, not just focused on the single market of China. Okay, thank you.
Look, in China, there's no problem. In China, the company is doing well, is growing, and well evaluated by customers. The problem is the dealership in Hong Kong. So how will you address this specific problem?
Hello, I'd like to take this question. We know from the case, we have find that the key issue is the dealership, and we have also given some ideas to this problem in our strategy, which the most important one is the visible system. We want to build a digital system that from which we can have a more specific record of the whole process from the buyers have decided to buy which type of the car, and later issues like he wants to make some modification and so on. So we think by building a more transparent digital chain, it can achieve some problems of the dealership.
I would like to make some additions. And I think this issue is not just a specific issue in Hong Kong, but when we talk about how to raise customer satisfaction, I think the strategies we came out can be a method which can be used in different regions. For example, about setting up a troubleshooting team. I think this team can be set it in different regions to solve customers' unsatisfaction, to solve their complaints. I think if they can build such a team, it can, to some extent, it can raise their customer satisfaction very greatly. So that I don't think it's just an issue about Hong Kong. I think it's an issue about how the posture this brand in different regions in the whole world.
Thank you all. The judges will now stay in the room to deliberate, and dear team, we will place you in the rating room and bring you back for the feedback section in a few minutes. So everyone else, please kindly leave the room, and we will see you later for the results announcement. Thank you.